Kicking off hour number 3 here on Hurrdat Sports Radio on AM 590, ESPN Omaha, ESPN Tri-Cities, and KFOR in Lincoln. I'm Ravi Lulla with Andrew Rogers. We're brought to you by our friends at Big Brothers Big Sisters. It is their mission to support one-to-one mentoring relationships that ignite the power and promise of youth. Go to mentoromaha.org to sign up to become a big, or maybe you're a little tight on time. You can go to mentoromaha.org and donate money, donate tickets to events. You can, if you're a business owner, you can invite matches, pre-existing matches to your business. You can sponsor events through Big Brother, Big Sister. There's a ton of ways to get involved. Even if you're not sure about becoming a big yet, get involved with Big Brothers, Big Sisters in all of those other ways at mentoromaha.org. All right, joining us now, he's the big brother of the Hurrdat Sports crew, is our guy, Mike Sautter. Mike, what's going on, man?
Just got home a little bit ago. So
early morning for you.
Gonna be home. Yeah. It's all right though. All good. So gonna be home for a little bit and then gonna leave and then gonna come back home and then leave again.
But all good in the Sauterhood?
Yeah. Elective surgery for my wife. So it's nothing. It just
okay, good.
Nothing crazy, but
Sautter, you mentioned your schedule. You were texting us early this morning about, I think you were in Lincoln for 17 hours a couple days ago. You were in Lincoln for 15 hours yesterday for state volleyball. What's the schedule look like today as you are you going to try and balance state volleyball and state football? How's that working today?
Nah, state volleyball just started right now, or started at 9. I will not be there today just because I got to take care of my wife and stuff during the day. But I'm going to maybe be able to make it to the 4:00 game this afternoon. If not, and that the 4:00 I would go to would be Scotts Bluff, Elkhorn North.
Okay.
And then if I'm trying to maybe make it, but that doesn't sound like that's going to be a possibility. And then Bellevue West Side at 7, and then the second half of the 8:00 at Buell with Millard South and Omaha North is my plan. And we have Jacob down at state volleyball all day today.
Okay.
Guy Christian's going to do the visual stuff for us today down there. So all hands on deck this week for trying to just get everything covered and do more than just a little blurb of a thing, right? So trying to just elevate it and make it a little bit different.
Yeah, just a lot going on. You mentioned volleyball. I want to start there, and then we'll get deep into football because on day one, big upset in Class A, the 8 seed Papio La Vista taking down La Vista South. Your thoughts on that one, Mike?
Yeah, they beat Papio South in the Metro semifinals a couple weeks ago, but Papio South wasn't full go. They weren't fully healthy that night. Their setter was out. It's a pretty big upset, honestly, for Papio to win. Papio was Papillion La Vista Monarchs. I mean, they were the wild card. So they didn't even win the district and got in. And frankly, now it's really wide open in Class A volleyball. No volleyball expert here, not that, but I do feel pretty good about Papillion and Lincoln Southwest. Lincoln Southwest probably the most talented team, but Mia Taverdi is a stud middle blocker for Papillion, and she was killing it the other night. And I mean, if she could carry them all the way to a state title, which would be a heck of a story. But she's pretty good. So committed to Oregon.
Good program.
And then Lincoln Southwest is pretty talented too. Their setter's committed to Marquette. And she's really good. The biggest story volleyball wise is Class B and Scud, and can they win 9 in a row? And they play Elkhorn North tonight. And if they were to win that, which they're not the favorite to win it, based off seeds anyway,
right?
Then they would play Norris, who is, everyone's the number 1 seed and might be able to get them this time. The last time Scott lost in a state championship, or it's in the last time Omaha Scott volleyball lost in a state tournament was 8 years ago. Well, 9 years ago, and it was to Norris 9 years ago.
Wow.
And they played in a handful of finals in this 8-year run. So if Scott can beat Elkhorn North, if Norris wins tonight, then they would play each other again. And I think they played during this 8 times. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but I know it's been 2 or 3 times they played in a final. So there's that mental kind of hurdle to get over for Norris, even though they'd be the 1 seed. If Scott can beat Elkhorn North, and if Norris can win. I know, some dads are probably listening to me right now saying, "Oh, he picked against us." No, I said if.
Like 100 times you said.
Yeah, like on purpose. I said if.
Mike Sautter said if. That's the tweet.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike. So Omaha Scott, though, that's a team that
Super
that doesn't
young.
really play like an in-state schedule, right? They play like a ton of different teams that are really, really good, and that's why their record shows roughly 13 losses.
Yeah, they traveled a bunch. They have 1 senior on the team, so really young team. But Paisley Douglas, she's really good. She committed to USC, and Addie West is their best probably hitter, is a pin hitter, and she is going to be she's very good. She's a sophomore. She's very good. But yeah, they play outstate by design. They don't play a lot around here. And if they can, afford to do it or fundraise enough to do it, got some of my money at Scott Volleyball for little kid volleyball camps the last 2 years. So I know that. But no, yeah, they're good. That record, it's by design. They do that on purpose.
Sautter, let's switch back over to football here for a minute. You mentioned some of the big matchups in Class A. Obviously, that Omaha West Side Bellevue West matchup is going to get a lot of the headlines just based on the amount of talent on the field. But low key, Omaha North, Millard South might be just as interesting. Out of those 2, what are you looking for? And I guess, what are you expecting?
Yeah. Okay. So, I don't know. I was there the first time West Side and Bellevue West played.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, everybody played. No, everyone played.
Yeah.
Everyone started the game.
Hall got hurt in the game, but he did start.
Everyone played.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. I know everyone played. So I don't get this whole injury thing. This talk about they were injured and all this stuff. No, everyone played. Hogg did get injured, his elbow.
In game,
pretty gruesome.
Right in front of us, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. But that was late second quarter, and frankly, the game was already in hand by then.
Yeah, it was over.
So it was, I guess I don't understand the narrative of, well, they got everybody back. Well, they had everybody the first time. So I don't,
Mike Sautter said if they didn't have everybody the first time.
No, I did not.
I think they're saying, I think a lot of it, and I'm not saying it's a good argument, but McMorris was coming off of an injury. It was his first game back.
He got injured in June.
He
got injured in track. It's a lingering track hamstring injury.
I'm just saying I think that's the argument that was being made. I'm not saying it's a good argument.
Yeah, I don't buy that. So I just don't. I do think, it could be a little bit different. The weather's going to cooperate tonight, which is great. It's going to be
really, really great.
Early November cold, but not freezing cold like it was last week or 2 weeks ago.
Or it was against Millard South.
Yeah, the wind and all that stuff is going to be a factor. So I do think it could be a pretty good game. I think it could be competitive for a little bit. I'm not going to pick the game or anything like that. But I am going to go, and because it could be it'll be the last time I get to see either Caleb Benning or Danny Kalin and Isaiah McMorris and Davon Hall and the Rezacs, like someone's going to play their last game, and I feel like I should be there to watch that.
Sure, absolutely.
So I think that's I think it'll be good, and I do think the CJ Goff and the Bellevue West running attack has been really good recently, and they've come on through district play. I think their line gotten a little bit better, but Omaha Westside's defensive line is so undervalued, underrated, whatever you want to call it. So RJ Eckhart, I don't get the whole Ryan thing either on him. It's always been RJ. I guess they've never known him to be Ryan. That's his government name, I guess. And JQ, their other end, have been really good. So like up front, they're good. Kim Bell, I don't know with his hand injury wise, but Bo Ryan up the middle, Trevor Spade, like they got guys. Like they're obviously Westside, I think can handle. It's going to be who can stop the run, really. Like we talk about the outside stuff, but I think it'll be who can control the line of scrimmage in the run game.
Sautter, this is a further down the line question, and it just kind of had me thinking about Rezac when you brought up his name, Anthony, in this case.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw last year, and they're two different players, but we saw last year Tristan Alvano pick up an offer from Nebraska after his performance in the title game. My question to you is, if Westside and Anthony Rezac, like if Rezac balls out, right, goes all the way to the title game, balls out in the title game, could you see maybe something similar happening with him and Nebraska and getting an offer at like that point, similar to what happened to TA?
I don't think so. From what I know, they've already decided that they're not going to do anything with him in Nebraska. So that could change. Things could change. But when I say that, I mean no walk on, nothing. Mm-hmm. They've as far as that's been what I've been told. So no, I don't think so. Is the answer to your question. So I really don't. I don't think so. And the talk of the this Westside team being the best team ever.
Oh, addressing it.
Yeah.
StreamYard comment from Ken.
Yeah. Well, it's been talked about a lot. And at the beginning of the year, I said they could go down as one of the best ever if they,
and we talked about it a little bit last week of where they would rank.
Right. I mean, 85 prep, 03 Millard North, 2019 Bellevue West was really good.
I was just about to say, Jose.
Like, they gave up 63 points the whole year. That's crazy. So I just, I think it's a little premature for that. But yeah, if you look at it, if they end up running the table like they have, and they end up doing it in the fashion they have, pretty hard to argue that they're not in the conversation. The best ever. I mean, that 03 Millard North team was crazy. And then I think the 85 prep team had like 21 kids that were Division I athletes.
Mm-hmm. Not all football, but athletes.
Yeah. It's a little tough to go down that road, I think. Especially when you compare eras like that, because football has changed so much.
Yeah.
So it's a little tough. Yeah.
Sautter, I do want to talk about the other, in my opinion, the other marquee matchup in Class A with Omaha North and Millard South. Is that the best? Is that the best other matchup, or do you like a Elkhorn South Lincoln is better, or a Millard West Grand Island?
No, yeah, the North Millard South game is the best. It's the next.
How do you expect that to play out? You've got a couple of teams with really high quality play on the lines. Yep. How do you expect that one to play out?
Yeah, I don't expect a ton of points.
Sure. Fair.
I think it'll be a defensive game. Both defensive lines are really good and big and strong and all of that. Can North run the ball as effectively as they did last week against Gretna will be the question. I don't know if they can. If they can, they'll win the game. I just not sure with that Millard South defensive line that they'll be able to be that effective with it.
Right.
I'm thinking it's probably going to be a little more like the Elkhorn South game where Circa was having to use his legs and run around and ran for his life, frankly. But the weather's going to cooperate a little bit more. We'll see Jet Tamala, right? Like, is this kind of the next level for him? And my guy Feller's back. So for Miller South, I think, and he's pretty good. So I do. I want to see a good game. Obviously, like I said, I'm planning on being there the second half, and I think it'll be competitive into the second half. So that's why I'm planning on doing that. But it'll be a pretty good game. And Amarion Jackson going against like older guys like Donovan Jones and that defensive backfield for Omaha North is a question. Champ Davis, I'm not sure if he's going to play or not, but he's super explosive for Omaha North. He didn't play last week, and if he is on the field, does wonders for their offense. So, and frankly, defense, because he played corner too.
Sautter, I want to skip Class B just for a hot second, go to C1. Were you surprised that the chalk held out of the first round?
No, not really at all. The one maybe surprise was Broken Bow beating DC West. Other than that, no, I didn't. I thought that was pretty. Yeah, I could have maybe saw Aurora beat Adams Central, but I guess that game was 9-7. Yeah. So, no, I wasn't.
Four runs were scored in Game 4 of the World Series.
Is the World Series still going on?
It is not.
It's
no,
over.
Texas won.
It's over.
I don't know. Did anyone
all you care about is high school football and the Jets?
No. Did anyone pay attention?
I watched every game.
I talked to a bunch of
people. Show me that face.
I talked to a lot of people, and they were like, "I had no idea."
I'll tell you what, too. It was like one of the lowest viewed World Series, and I kind of told Ravi that point of, for me, it's all personality based. I like seeing new teams featured in that game, but for the world of baseball, they need those blue bloods, those heavy hitters like the Dodgers and the Astros and whatever other big team. Even the Yankees. Can you think about the Yankees getting back there? Like that would be one of the most watched World Series just to see that team. But it's because it's the Rangers and D-backs, and the D-backs probably never sold out a game this year until the World Series. And, that's why you get 9.7 million people watching, which seems like a lot, but not as much when you have 13 or 14 million when the Dodgers are in it.
Yeah. Like I didn't watch a single pitch of it at all. So I didn't know. The Rangers won, right?
They did win. If you had to root for one of those teams, would you have rooted for the D-backs or the Rangers?
I don't know a single player on the D-backs. So the Rangers probably.
Who do you know on the Rangers?
Max Scherzer's on.
All right, there it is. All right,
and their right fielder guy that got traded to them.
Golis?
Yeah, that guy.
Well, his funny story is he got DFA'd by the Cardinals in 19. The Cardinals traded him.
Your crappy team.
Yep, for cash considerations. This year for sure. I'll 100% eat that. And then the Rangers, oddly enough, in 2020 DFA'd him too and re-signed him.
Well.
And now, how does he get this good? Is he taking steroids?
Probably.
I'm okay with it if he is.
Nobody can do that.
Ravi Lulla here for Pro Steroids. You mentioned, I believe last week that you thought, Howell's Dodge was going to beat Ainsworth and it would be the end of the Carter Nelson high school career in Nebraska. That's exactly how it played out. I guess, is that a disappointing end? I'm sure it's, Carter Nelson would have wanted to finish this off for the state title. But was that a disappointing end for Ainsworth? I know it is what you expected.
Yeah, no, I mean, Howell's Dodge and Mike Spears is stud. I wouldn't call it disappointing at all. The season he had was pretty phenomenal. Their team gave up 4 points all year or something. I'm exaggerating, people. So I don't think it's disappointing. It just kind of is what it is. I think it was a little bit of to be expected, in that situation, just because, the strength of schedule stuff matters. And yeah, so no, to answer your question, no, I don't think you should be disappointed at all.
Mike, Class B, let's talk about that real fast because you said you may, if you have time, make it out to Elkhorn North, Scottsbluff. Scottsbluff picking up a 14-0 shutout, upset win over York in the opening round. They have Elkhorn North now. Do you think Scottsbluff can continue to make a little magic happen?
Yeah, I think that game's gonna be close. Scottsbluff wants to hit you in the mouth and run the ball, and there's no bones about it. They line up and they want to just run it right at right down your throat. And Boyle is one of the best backs in the state. So here's his chance to kind of come over to this side of the state and do it. How about this for, we talk about the travel thing, people traveling. If Scottsbluff were to make it to the state final, they would spend 4 straight weeks on the bus coming to the east side of the state, like the exact opposite east. So in 4 straight, now they'd have to, obviously win tonight, and then they'd have to beat Bennington, and then make it to the final. But no, I think that game could be close. Up front, I think Elkhorn North is pretty big up front. They like to run it. I honestly, I wish Elkhorn North would throw it to Chase Lofton and Tommy Mechna a little more. But Johnny Ferguson, their quarterback, is really athletic, uses his legs really well. Tinglehoff, their running back, is pretty shifty and quick. So it's going to be Scottsbluff's going to have to play keep away, I think, in order to get that done.
Mike, got a couple minutes left here. Is that the most interesting game in Class B for you, or do any of the other matchups intrigue you at all, like Scott and Blair?
Yeah, I think it's probably the most interesting game. Norris and Bennington is interesting. Norris has won 5 in a row.
Could be a lot of points too, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because Bennington's defense is phenomenal.
Yeah, they're legit.
Yeah. Now, can Norris slow them down enough? I did say this, like in order to beat Bennington, you have to get to 21. And, hope your defense can obviously hold them to 17 or something like that. So, but your goal should be if we can get to 21, which not a lot of people have done. So I just don't know if they can do that. But Norris is kind of on a heater here, and we'll see. Maybe weather's again cooperating. I know Norris likes to throw it around a little bit more, so that may play into it a little bit. But I'm just going to continue to talk about Kyler Lauritsen and how great of a football player he is, which he is maybe even a better football player than wrestler, and he's a 2-time state champ going for his 3rd this year. So.
Sautter, like 30 seconds left. Anything we missed that people should know about for high school football or high school volleyball tonight?
Yeah. Friday night of high school semifinals volleyball is always electric. I've never been, but I'm here. It's pretty electric.
It's fantastic.
If you're looking for that, we will have coverage from all of it everywhere. And then tomorrow, obviously, state finals volleyball, which if the schedule says 9, 11, 1, 3, 5, and 7, it's probably more like 9, 12, 2.
Yeah.
Like you're going to be delayed a lot.
Try 30, 45, maybe an hour.
Yeah. Just prepare for that. But no, it should be a great night of football tonight because the weather is going to really help.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. We will be back. We will be back.